1 in 10 people will have a seizure at some point in their lifetime. Any of us could be diagnosed with epilepsy, and any of us could have a family member or a friend diagnosed with epilepsy, and we may see someone having a seizure in our daily lives, and we may be the one that's called on to intervene and help that person. Something that we should all learn about and we should all know about, because it can happen to any of us at any time. This person is having a generalized tonic-clonic seizure. So first, his friends make sure he's safe and comfortable and remove any objects that can hurt him, and then roll him on his side to make sure that the airway stays open. It's important to put someone on their side so if after the seizure they get sick and throw up, it comes out their mouth. When you see someone having a seizure, especially if you haven't seen someone have a seizure before, it always seems to last much longer than it actually does. Make sure you time the event by looking at your watch to see what time it starts, so you can provide this information to anyone who comes to the scene to offer help that they need. Most seizures last 2 to 3 minutes and stop on their own. If a seizure is prolonged and goes on longer than 5 minutes, someone should call 911 so that medical assistance can be provided. You might want to look and see if the patient is wearing a medical bracelet so that we can determine if they have a history of seizures. It's important to remember these 3 steps. Stay safe side. Stay with the person until the seizure is over. Make sure they are safe. Turn the person on their side and make sure they are comfortable. So it's important to understand that when a person's having a seizure, they probably won't remember what it's like to have a seizure, especially for the convulsive seizures. They may remember something before the seizure, a funny feeling or that something doesn't feel right, but usually the seizure itself is not something that a patient remembers. When the seizure stops, they're often confused and they may not know what's happened. So it's important to comfort them and tell them that they're safe and make sure that they know that everything's okay. I would say if you find someone who you don't know and you don't know their history, that you should call 911 anytime you come upon someone having a seizure, but still follow the stay safe side recommendations. If it's a family member or someone you know with a history of seizures and you're comfortable and the seizure ends in less than 5 minutes, it's okay to not call 911. If they recover from their seizure and they're back to baseline, you can just monitor them at home. You should never put anything in a person's mouth when they're having a seizure. It is not necessary and it can be harmful to both you and the person. All we need to do is the steps we've already discussed, put them on their side, keep them safe, and stay with them. 1 in 26 Americans has epilepsy. At some point, you or someone you know will have a seizure, but now you know what to do. Make sure to seek out communities like the Epilepsy Foundation Los Angeles for further information and assistance. They are there to help and provide guidance for everything from important questions to ask your doctors to the latest Seizure First Aid guidelines. Just remember that if you have epilepsy, you are not alone. There are doctors like me ready to help.